The discovery. Fleet Admiral Zeal Thorne of the Galactic Confederation adjusted his breathing apparatus as the holographic display showed the approaching human vessel. It was bulky, asymmetrical, and covered in what appeared to be exposed pipes, panels, and antennae, a stark contrast to the sleek, crystalline perfection of Confederation ships. They called it the Resolute, Science Officer Mira informed him, her iridescent scales shifting color with her discomfort. First deep space exploration vessel of the humans' Neptune class. It's hideous, commented Chief Engineer Vork, his multiple eyes blinking in sequence as he analyzed the approaching ship. Those external components should be internalized for optimal efficiency. And those angles. No consideration for energy flow dynamics. Admiral Zeal Thorne raised a three-fingered hand. Remember, these are a young species. Their first interstellar flight was barely 30 Earth years ago. We agreed to this joint mission to evaluate their potential for Confederation membership. The communication panel chimed. A pink-skinned face appeared on screen, framed by dark hair. Confederation vessel. This is Captain Elena Rodriguez of the Earth ship Resolute. We're prepared for docking procedures at your convenience. After formal greetings were exchanged, the human ship maneuvered alongside the Confederation vessel Eternal Light. Docking clamps extended, creating an airlock bridge between the ships. Captain Rodriguez led a small delegation aboard the alien vessel. The humans wore simple blue uniforms with patches indicating rank and specialty. No environmental suits, no neural interfaces, just cloth and primitive communication devices. "Welcome aboard the Eternal Light," Admiral Zeal Thorne said. "We're honored to host Earth's representatives." "The honor is ours," Rodriguez replied with a smile. "We've much to learn from the Confederation." Chief Engineer Vork couldn't contain his curiosity. "Captain, with respect, your vessel's design is unusual by our standards. May I inquire about its operational principles?" "Of course," Rodriguez nodded. "We'd be happy to give you a tour after we've seen your ship." Fair exchange. The tour of the Confederation ship was brief but impressive. The Eternal Light operated on crystalline quantum computing, with neural interfaces for all crew. Navigation was handled by predictive algorithms that could calculate routes through thousands of possible space-time variables. Life support was maintained through perfect molecular recycling. Everything was seamless, integrated, and automated. "Remarkable," commented the human engineer, Lieutenant Commander Jackson. "Your systems are generations beyond ours." When the time came to visit the human vessel, the Confederation officers braced themselves for primitive conditions. What they found surprised them. The Resolute was noisy. Pumps hummed, fans whirred, and crew called to each other across compartments. Pipes and cables ran along corridors, clearly labeled and accessible. Control panels featured physical buttons and switches alongside touchscreens. "Why are your systems so exposed?" asked Vork, running a scanner over what appeared to be a manual pressure gauge. "Accessibility," Lieutenant Commander Jackson explained. "If something breaks, we need to fix it fast, sometimes with whatever materials we have on hand." Admiral Zeal Thorne noticed redundant systems everywhere. Backup generators, manual overrides, even paper manuals stored in waterproof containers. "Your ship seems designed with failure in mind," he observed. "Space is unforgiving," Captain Rodriguez said. "When you're light years from help, preparing for failure isn't pessimism, it's survival." They reached the engine room, where Engineer Vork became increasingly agitated. "This propulsion system is a hybrid of 4 different technologies," he exclaimed. "Fusion, antimatter catalysts, and what appears to be modified gravity manipulation. The inefficiency is staggering." Lieutenant Commander Jackson smiled. "But if any one system fails, we can still limp home on the others. We call it the belt and suspenders approach." As they continued the tour, alarm klaxons suddenly blared throughout both vessels. "Quantum fluctuation detected," announced the Confederation ship's eye. "Subspace anomaly forming at coordinates 43 to 2791. The Admiral's communication device chimed urgently. The Eternal Light's sensors have detected a subspace rift opening nearby. He explained to the humans. We must withdraw immediately. Captain Rodriguez nodded. We should return to our respective vessels. As they hurried back to the airlock bridge, a violent shudder ran through both ships. The lights flickered on the Eternal Light. The anomaly is expanding faster than predicted, the AI announced. Quantum stabilizers failing. Neural networks compromised. Admiral Zielforn's expression grew grave. Our systems are interconnected for maximum efficiency. If the quantum core destabilizes, your whole ship goes down. Rodriguez finished. Let us help. With all due respect, Captain, your technology is several generations behind ours. Vork said. I fail to see how. Another jolt interrupted him, stronger than the first. The lights on the Confederation ship died completely, replaced by a dim emergency glow. Neural interface offline, the Admiral said, a note of panic in his voice. All crew disconnected. Automated systems failing. Rodriguez tapped her communication device. Jackson, prep the portable generators and get a team to the airlock with the emergency toolkit. Within minutes, human engineers were moving through the Eternal Light, connecting portable power units to critical systems. They worked with practiced efficiency, bypassing damaged circuits and establishing manual controls. This is remarkable, Vork admitted, watching a human technician restore life support using what looked like primitive tools. You're adapting our systems to work with your technology on the fly. That's what humans do, Jackson said, connecting cables to the alien ship's medical bay. We adapt. With the human generators providing power to essential systems, the Confederation crew regained enough control to navigate away from the anomaly. Once at a safe distance, the quantum core gradually recovered, allowing primary systems to come back online. In the conference room afterward, Admiral Zielforn addressed the human delegation with newfound respect. Your assistance saved my ship and crew, he acknowledged. Our reliance on integrated systems created a single point of failure that nearly proved catastrophic. Different approaches have different strengths, Rodriguez replied diplomatically. Your technology is elegant and efficient. Ours is persistent. Vork, who had been analyzing data from the incident, looked up from his display. Your redundant systems and manual overrides, what we considered primitive, would have prevented our cascading failure. Perhaps there is wisdom in your approach after all. As the meeting concluded, Admiral Zielforn made an unexpected proposal. The Confederation's Engineering Council would benefit greatly from studying your methodologies. Would Earth consider a technology exchange program? Rodriguez smiled. We'd be delighted. After all, the stars are too vast and too dangerous for any species to explore alone. As the human delegation prepared to return to their ship, Admiral Zielforn found himself reevaluating his initial judgment. The human vessel might lack the refined elegance of Confederation design, but its resilience in the face of the unexpected was undeniable. Perhaps true advancement wasn't always a straight line toward greater complexity. Sometimes it meant remembering old lessons while learning new ones. The Alliance. 6 months after the subspace anomaly incident, the Joint Human Confederation Engineering Initiative had transformed a remote space station into a bustling hub of cross-species collaboration. The station, orbiting a neutron star in the Cygnus sector, housed 30 human engineers and 50 Confederation specialists working to integrate the best aspects of both technological approaches. Chief Engineer Vork stood before a holographic display, manipulating the schematics of a new hybrid propulsion system. Beside him, Lieutenant Commander Jackson pointed at a particular component. The quantum regulator needs manual backups, Jackson insisted. If the entanglement field collapses, the probability of such failure is exceedingly small, Vork countered, his eye stalks swiveling in mild frustration. 0.73% over a standard century. Small until it happens, Jackson replied. Then it's 100% for the poor souls on board. Before their friendly debate could continue, The station's alert system activated. A communication request from Confederation High Command appeared on the main screen. Admiral Zielforn's image materialized, his expression grave. Engineers Vork and Jackson, your expertise is urgently required. A mining colony in the Taurus Reach has encountered a catastrophic situation. The details emerged quickly. A supposedly stable neutronium extraction facility had developed quantum fractures in its containment fields. The highly volatile neutronium threatened to destabilize, potentially destroying the colony and its 3,000 inhabitants. We've dispatched our fastest rescue vessel, the Admiral continued, but their quantum drives can't reach the colony in time. However, there is a human ship nearby. Jackson nodded. The Pioneer. Research vessel studying plasma storms in that sector. Precisely. Captain Wei has volunteered to attempt rescue, but the Pioneer lacks the specialized equipment needed to stabilize the neutronium containment. We need you both to develop a solution that can be implemented with available resources. Within hours, the unlikely engineering duo is aboard a high-speed shuttle heading for rendezvous with the Pioneer. Captain Wei Lin, a veteran of Earth's deep space corps, welcomed them aboard with little ceremony. We're 8 hours from the colony. Their containment fields are degrading by 7% per hour. Your solution needs to be ready before we arrive. The ship's workshop became their laboratory. Vork's expertise with quantum field manipulation was unparalleled, but the Pioneer lacked the specialized crystals and alloys used in Confederation technology. Impossible, Vork declared after 3 hours of frustrated attempts. Without proper quantum resonators, we cannot generate a field strong enough to stabilize the neutronium. Jackson stared at the failed prototype, then at the pile of spare parts they'd gathered. We need to stop thinking like separate engineering traditions and start thinking like problem solvers. Elaborate, Vork said, intrigued despite his frustration. Your quantum field theory is sound, but we're trying to build Confederation tech with human parts. What if we reverse the approach? Apply your theoretical understanding to a fundamentally human solution. What emerged over the next 4 hours was unlike anything either engineering tradition had produced before. A crude but potentially effective neutronium stabilizer built around human mechanical systems, but guided by Confederation quantum theory. It's inelegant, Vork admitted, examining their creation. But it might work, Jackson finished. When the Pioneer reached the mining colony, the situation was dire. The main containment building shimmered with dangerous energy as the neutronium reservoir approached critical instability. Evacuation is at 60%, reported the colony director via video link, her face strained. But we can't get everyone out in time. Captain Wei studied the sensor readings. We need to deploy the stabilizer directly at the containment core. The radiation levels there are lethal to organic life forms, Vork stated flatly. Then we send it in remotely, Jackson suggested. Our quantum guidance systems are being disrupted by the neutronium field, Vork countered. Captain Wei looked between them. What about manual guidance? Old school. The solution came together rapidly. A small team would approach the containment building in radiation suits, guiding the stabilizer as close as possible before switching to mechanical remote control. It was dangerous, primitive by Confederation standards, but feasible. Vork insisted on joining the mission despite the risks. My understanding of quantum field dynamics will be necessary if adjustments are required. The approach to the containment building was harrowing. Radiation alarms screamed constantly as Jackson and Vork, encased in bulky suits, maneuvered their makeshift device through increasingly unstable corridors. The field harmonics are fluctuating beyond predicted parameters, Vork announced, monitoring a handheld scanner. Our device may be insufficient. Jackson paused, thinking quickly. The colony's backup generators. Could we repurpose them to amplify our field? Theoretically, yes, but the connection would require manual intervention. Jackson finished. I'll do it. Despite Vork's protests, Jackson detoured to the generator room, working rapidly to create a power coupling between their device and the colony systems. The The radiation levels, there were even higher, limiting safe exposure time to mere minutes. With the coupling complete, they positioned the stabilizer at the edge of the containment chamber. As Vork activated the device, the hybrid technology hummed to life, producing a quantum field that began to counteract the instability. "It's working," Vork announced, his voice showing rare emotion. "The neutronium is stabilizing." Their victory was short-lived. A sudden power fluctuation caused the entire system to falter. "Automated systems failing," Vork reported urgently. "The quantum algorithms can't adapt fast enough to the changing conditions." Jackson moved to the manual controls they'd built as a backup. "Then we do it the human way." For the next 20 minutes, they worked in perfect tandem. Vork calling out quantum readings, Jackson making continuous manual adjustments to compensate. What the finest Confederation computers couldn't handle, human intuition and adaptability managed. When they finally emerged from the containment building, exhausted but successful, they found Captain Way coordinating the final evacuations. "Containment stable," Jackson reported. "The colony engineers can handle it from here with our instructions." Back aboard the Pioneer, after medical treatment for radiation exposure, Vork approached Jackson in the recovery bay. "Your approach was unorthodox," the alien engineer admitted. "By Confederation standards, it would be considered primitive. And yet, it succeeded where our advanced technology would have failed." "That's the human paradox," Jackson smiled weakly. "Sometimes the oldest solutions work best for the newest problems." 3 weeks later, Admiral Zielforn addressed the Confederation High Council, with Captain Rodriguez and Lieutenant Commander Jackson in attendance as honored guests. "The success at Taurus Reach demonstrates what we've been reluctant to acknowledge," the Admiral stated firmly. "Our pursuit of perfect technological integration has created systems too fragile to adapt to unexpected challenges. The human approach, redundancy, manual overrides, and decentralized systems offers resilience we've engineered out of our own technology." The council chamber hummed with uneasy discussion. One elder counselor rose to speak. "Are you suggesting we abandon centuries of progress to adopt human methodologies?" "I'm suggesting," Zielforn replied, "that progress isn't always linear. Sometimes it means rediscovering principles we've forgotten. The humans haven't persisted in using mechanical backups and redundant systems out of inability to advance. They've done so because experience has taught them the value of these approaches." Captain Rodriguez stepped forward at the Admiral's invitation. "We don't propose that the Confederation adopt our technology wholesale. Rather, we see an opportunity for true synthesis, combining your elegant efficiency with our stubborn redundancy." The meeting concluded with the announcement of an unprecedented initiative. A new class of ships would be designed jointly by human and Confederation engineers, incorporating the best aspects of both traditions. 6 months later, the prototype vessel Synthesis prepared for its maiden voyage. Its sleek hull concealed both quantum computing networks and mechanical backup systems. Its crew, half human, half Confederation, represented a new approach to space exploration. As Captain Rodriguez and Admiral Zielforn stood on the observation deck watching final preparations, the Admiral reflected, "Your species surprised us, Captain. We expected to find primitive explorers fumbling their way among the stars. Instead, we found teachers." Rodriguez smiled. "And we found the same in you. Perhaps true advancement isn't about leaving the past behind entirely. Sometimes it's about remembering why certain solutions worked in the first place." The Synthesis departed the space dock, its hybrid systems humming in perfect harmony, a testament to the idea that progress doesn't always mean abandoning the old for the new, but finding wisdom in both. After all, Rodriguez mused, watching the ship accelerate gracefully into the void, space is unforgiving. But together, we're more forgiving of space's challenges than either of us could be alone.